Do you want to know if a non-employee reimbursement has paid? There are two ways to look up the payment status of a non-employee reimbursement processed in the Concur Travel and Expense system. If you created the non-employee reimbursement report and want to know if it has paid, look it up in Concur. Here's how it works. In Concur, click on the Expense tab. The next screen will default to Manage Expenses. On the right side of the screen, click on Report Library. If you submitted the non-employee reimbursement within the last 90 days, it will display in this list. You can pull up older reports by clicking View and widening your search. Look at the payment status value for the report. When a report is marked paid in Concur, the check is produced within a day or two. Want to learn more? Visit the FinPro Help Desk website.